We open on two buses cruising down the road, packed with a school's worth of girls headed to class. Somewhere in the middle of all that noise sits Mitsuko, quietly writing in her notebook while everyone else is talking over each other. Her friends clock this and start needling her about it. Come on, put the notebook down. What are you even writing? Live a little. One of them snatches the notebook out of her hands. Her pen goes flying and Mitsuko bends down to grab it off the floor. That one small motion saves her life, because the second her head dips below the window line, something rips through both buses at once and slices every single girl inside clean in half. Instantly. Mitz sits back up into a scene she can't process. She's losing her head. And the only reason she's not part of it is that she happened to drop a pen at exactly the right moment. She bolts off the bus and starts running, and this is where the movie reveals the thing slicing people in half isn't a person, a blade, or a monster. It's the wind. Just the wind, actively hunting her down like it's got somewhere to be. She sprints past 4 more girls and screams them to duck, but the wind's faster than her warning, and 3 of them go down before she can save the 4th. Then they run into some girls on bikes, try to warn them too, and the wind takes it as a challenge and offs the cyclists anyway. Even the one girl Mitsuko did manage to save doesn't make it much further. Mitsuko starts running. At this point, she's not running toward anything, she's just running, completely out of options. She ends up at a river that turns out to be full of bodies, dozens of them, all victims of the same invisible killer. Shaken to her core, she takes the clothes off one of the bodies and changes, because the killer can wait but fashion cannot. Anyway, she keeps walking and eventually reaches a school, one that's somehow full of living, laughing students like nothing happened, while she's standing there trying to process an entire massacre. A girl walks up and asks how she's doing. This is Aki, apparently Mitsuko's best friend. Though Mitsuko is so shaken, she actually asks her, "Are you really my best friend?" Which is not usually a question you need to ask your best friend. We learn these two have a genuinely close bond, which matters, because Aki is about to become the only stable thing in this movie. A sudden gust of wind sends Mitsuko sprinting inside in a panic, and Aki follows her, confused, asking what's wrong. Mitsuko finally tells her everything. The buses, the wind, all of it. Aki gently walks her to a window, sticks her hand outside, and tries to prove it's just regular wind, nothing sinister. Bless her for trying, man. Aki then decides the move here is to skip class entirely and pulls in 2 more friends, Tai and Sura, to go test this theory properly. Their teacher tries to stop them on the way out. They ignore her completely. This is a highly skilled rage-baiting technique. Very effective. Anyway, the 4 of them end up at a lake deep in the forest. At the lake, Aki fills Tai and Sura in on what Mitsuko told her. And Sura, who is apparently this friend group's resident physicist, offers a theory. Maybe Mitsuko slipped into another universe. Maybe there are infinite versions of reality happening at once. To prove it, she throws a stone into the lake and says that in this universe she threw it, but somewhere else she didn't. And then a crocodile explodes out of the water and eats Tai. Except a few seconds later, Tai's just standing there, completely fine. Sura's explanation is that the crocodile got her in a different universe. Just not this one. That'll be enough, Professor. Near the lake, they stumble on a bed, out in the open. Because sure, why not? And start goofing around with the pillows. Mitsuko spots 2 other girls watching them from a distance, one dressed as a bride, and then both of them just vanish. Professor Sura from Temu adds one more rule to this whole thing. Your fate is basically locked in, unless you do something that would be impossible in any other universe. They head back to school for another class, and this is where things go batshit crazy. Mitsuko notices a pillow next to her seat and bends down to grab it. And in that exact moment, the teacher pulls out a minigun and opens fire on the entire classroom. Welcome to America, class. Anyway, when Mitsuko sits back up, everyone is dead, including Aki. That pillow just saved her life the same way the pen did on the bus. The teacher turns on her next, asking how she dared skip class, right before Tai and Sura burst in to rescue her, only for a second teacher to America them both down too. Peak rage bait results right there. Mitsuko and whatever's left of the student body make a break for it while the teachers keep firing. A handful of them actually make it off the school grounds, but Mitsuko trips while running, and in that split second, her old friend the wind shows back up and slices through every girl still standing. She's the only one left. Again, she keeps running until she hits a police station in town, finds an officer, and tries to explain the massacre, the wind, all of it. The officer just laughs and asks why she's still in her school uniform, then starts calling her Ko, which Mitsuko has no context for at all. When the officer points her toward a mirror, Mitsuko looks and sees a completely different face staring back. The officer tells her the reception is about to start and puts her in the car. Turns out Ko is getting married today. People on the street are congratulating her as they drive to the venue. And when they arrive, Mitsuko spots Aki again, somehow still around no matter which version of reality she's in. Aki pulls her aside and quietly tells her they're both under someone's control right now to stay quiet, do exactly what she says, and she will get her through this. Aki helps her into a wedding dress while a group of girls barge in to mock her, and Aki, done with all of it, kills every single one of them without hesitation. Right before the ceremony, she hands Mitsuko a broken bottle with a jagged edge. Cool wedding gift. At the altar, there's no groom, just a coffin standing upright, and inside it, someone wearing a full pig mask, a bold choice even by this movie's standards of bold choices. Mitsuko panics for a second, then remembers the bottle in her hand and goes after the thing in the coffin, turning the entire wedding into chaos. She and Aki use the panic to make a break for it, only to run into two women who turn out to be the same teachers from the shooting earlier, apparently along for every version of this ride. They fight them off, get clear, and decide to split up so at least one of them has a shot at surviving. Still running, Mitsuko catches her reflection again and finds herself transformed once more, this time into running gear. Another girl calls out to her using a new name, Izumi, and it clicks that she has somehow become a competitor in a marathon now. At this point, she's had more costume changes than a magical girl, minus any of the fun parts. As she runs, she sees Tai and Sura again, both very dead from earlier, showing up like they are haunting the race specifically to warn her that she has to get out of this world no matter what. Aki catches up to her too, which is at least a familiar face in the chaos, right before they spot the pig mask guy and the two teachers closing in again. Aki tells her to make a break through the fence. Mitsuko ends up in a cave packed with other students still in their school uniforms, and one of them immediately attacks her, screaming that if Mitsuko survives, the rest of them die. Aki shows up just in time, kills the girl, and drags Mitsuko deeper into the cave. Once they are inside, Aki tells her to say her own name out loud, and when she does, Mitsuko snaps back into her original self, out of the Ko costume, out of the Izumi costume, just Mitsuko again. Aki then shows her a cable wired into her own hand and tells her to pull it, insisting that is the only way Mitsuko gets out of here. Mitsuko refuses at first, terrified that pulling it will kill her best friend. Aki does not let her off the hook. None of this is real, she says. They have both been dropped into someone else's fiction, and whoever is running it will keep killing people until Mitsuko, the actual main character here, does something about it. Pulling the cable sends Aki home and lets Mitsuko move to the final stage. So Mitsuko pulls it and Aki obviously splits cleanly in two. A gate opens in front of her, and she steps through into a completely different world, one filled entirely with men playing a violent survival horror video game called Tag. Bold name choice, incredible marketing meeting that must have been. Mitsuko, Ko, and Izumi are all playable characters in it, posters of all three plastered around like merchandise. A boy walks up and tells her she is from the future. She faints on the spot. Fair enough. This next stretch gets a lot heavier, so bear with it for a second. When Mitsuko wakes up, she is somewhere lined with rows of girls stored away like display mannequins. Further in, she finds an old man playing the exact game she has just lived through, the one where she was the main character clearing stage after stage. He tells her he built it, that she is in the future now, that 150 years ago he was a student alongside her, that he had feelings for her back then, and that once she died, he used her DNA and her friend's DNA to clone them all so he'd keep them in his game. Full-size replicas of her and her friends sit nearby. Then the young boy from earlier walks in, a recreation of the old man as he used to be, and gets into a bed nearby, telling her to join him. The old man explains this is the final stage he built, framing it as some long-held wish of his. Future me cue the sound. Right as she is about to step toward the bed, Mitsuko remembers what Sura told her back at the lake, that changing your fate means doing something impossible in every other version of this. So instead, she attacks the boy, then grabs the old man's cane and turns it on herself rather than playing the part written for her. It is not something he ever accounted for. It was never in his script, and that is exactly the point. Her refusing to follow it is what finally breaks his hold over the story. From there, we see her back at the very start of all three versions, the bus, the wedding, the race, and in every single one, she exits before the story can even properly begin, opting out of all three endings he built for her. This show has a lot of political themes around gay women being forced to conform to marriage and also about abortion apparently. But anyway, the movie closes on Mitsuko waking up somewhere snow-covered, realizing it's finally over. and that she's in the real world. But I believe she's in a blank digital space, away from the game, maybe in a world she can make for herself. I got some theories, but I'll end it on a happy note for you. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this one, and subscribe for the next recap.